that, then that can lead to mistreatment for depressive disorder. Another big statistic here is that 49% of people over the age of 65 say that these are the best years of their lives. So when they turn 65 and they cross that threshold of 65, they say that those are the best years. So if somebody tells you that, you know, because you're getting older, you're going to cross 65, you're going to be depressed, don't believe them. Another stereotype is that people that reach a certain age threshold are a burden on society. That older Americans have little or no value, contribute little or no value to society, and so that leads to older Americans receiving less services because people don't feel like they really add too much to our communities. But as we all know, that older Americans are not a burden on society. They represent this country's history and culture. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was working at Holly Creek, I had the opportunity to conduct a survey of about 9 Holly Creek residents, and I went to visit them in their apartments, and I saw their furniture. I listened to their stories. I mean, I got to know nuclear physicists. I got to know someone who lived during the Depression, teachers, judges, Air Force pilots, people with so many great stories, so many great families. They've lived their own life. They contributed so much to our society, and I think that you talked about younger people not wanting to talk to people that are advanced in age, but I think if people got the opportunity that I got, then they would understand that people who cross a certain age threshold contribute a great deal, and they have a lot to say, and we can all learn from them. So now we're going to do a skit. How many of you have ever acted before? No one's ever acted before. Has anyone done Reader's Theater?
Oh yes, we've done it here in this building.
You can Reader's Theater, right? So it's like practice, right? It's not even going to be anything. It's not going to be a big thing. Okay, so. I have 4 skits here. And I'm going to ask you guys to come up and do each one of these skits. And what we're going to do is that when we complete the skit, I'm going to ask the audience to guess which type of ageism that skit is portraying. So you're going to have to choose between personal ageism, intentional ageism, unintentional ageism, and intentional ageism. Okay? So I hope you remember the definitions from the first few slides that I gave you. Who would like to come up first?
Okay, come on, Harvey. Come on, Harvey. Let's you and I do it.
I have 2 guys in a bar, but we can have a guy and a girl in a bar. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
2 guys in a bar. Come on, Harvey.
Come, Harvey's good at this. Now we may need to turn on that light up there.
I've never been in a bar. Does that matter?
Okay, we can say 2 guys in a fellowship. How about that? Is
He's
that
going to
right?
give you a script to read here, Harvey.
Okay. So I'll be the narrator, and then you guys can choose which role you want to act out.
You need closer to get that in your face, but turn around toward the audience so they can hear you.
Okay, Harvey, you want to be Tim or you want to be Rainey?
I don't care. What's the short?
I'll be Tim.
Okay.
Rainey, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to read the narration, and then you guys can go ahead and get started.
You want to sit down or across the soul?
Hang on. Okay.
So, Tim and Rainey are holding court at an empty hotel bar. They are down on their luck in this brutal economy. Both agree that they need to make some money for themselves, and one of them has an idea.
Yeah, I got an idea, Rainey. You want to make some easy money?
Tim, you know that I'm always up for making a little cash. What are you thinking?
Well, my friend has told me about a cool scam that his friends have been running for a while. See, what they do is they call up old folks and they tell them some sob story about some starving kids in Sri Lanka or someplace, and once they've gained some sympathy from the marks, they ask them for some donations. And after the money is in hand, they just spend the money on themselves.
Oh yeah? I've heard about all that stuff, so you really think you can actually do this?
Sure we can. If those guys can do it, we certainly can. See, it's not that hard to get old people to part from their money. They're so generous with their money, especially when they think they're giving it to a good cause. So it's really easy to take advantage of them.
Well, let's do this then. I need to make some money. What do we start? How do we start?
All right, give them a hand, please. All right, great job by Tim and Rainey. Who wants to guess what type of ageism was on display here?
95 and 70.
95.
I mean, what, was it personal, intentional?
Was it personal, intentional ageism, unintentional ageism, or institutional
Oh,
ageism?
I'm sorry.
Intentional, very good. Who wants to say why they think it, well, it's the right answer, but who wants to tell me why they thought it was intentional? Yes?
Well, shut me up if I'm talking too much. But they're admitting up front that they are elderly. And so that doesn't, now that they can't be discriminated intentionally, but they would utilize intentional ageism to get the money.
Exactly. What they're saying in this skit, or what Tim and Rainey were talking about, was trying to get money from people that are older through a scam. So basically through a phone scam. So because they're doing that, that's what they call intentional ageism. Okay, so who wants to come up next? It's another short one. And we need 2 females.
Okay. Oh, Alvin, he wants 2 females.
Yeah, I know. No, that's sexism. That's a different thing.
Okay, so I'm going to read narration. We need someone to play Brittany and Christina. Okay, so friends and colleagues, Brittany and Christina, are eating lunch together in the employees' lunchroom. Their discussion of what is taking place during the day shifts from everyday speak to the subject of Lena.
Have you heard? Looks like Lena is 3 days away from turning 55.
Really? That's too bad. I really like Lena. She's such a great worker. She's smart, and she always seems to be so nice to me.
Yeah, it is too bad, but you know how it is. When you turn 55, your time is up at this company. Pretty harsh.
Uh-oh. True. But how do you start to slow down? Oh, see, true, but you do start to slow down a bit as you get older. Plus, older people get to be so expensive, and the work they do is not worth the money that they're paid.
Yeah, so what happens next with Lena?
Hope I don't find out. Oh, well, let's just push her out. Probably offer her a severance package as a thank you for 30 years.
Brittany and Christina just shake their heads. Give Brittany and Christina a hand, please.
Hey, nice enough.
Good job. Okay, who wants to give me a guess of what type of ageism was on display during this skit?
Well, institutional ageism is part of it.
Yes, exactly, institutional ageism. And why do you say institutional ageism?
Because the whole issue is whether they can function in the organization or not.
Exactly. So this refers to an organization that is discriminating against a person because they cross a certain age threshold. And does anybody else have something else they want to say about this skit?
I think it's also personal.
Yeah. And why do you think it's personal ageism?
Because of the age. They're talking about their age. They're too old. They can't do it anymore. Past their prime.
Past their prime, exactly. So we have a skit that is institutional ageism and personal ageism. So we have 2 types of ageism that were on display during this particular skit. So good job. Okay, we have 2 more skits to go. This is going to be the longest one. So we need a girl and a boy who are going to be in love.
Okay.
Come on, Al.
I think that's you, Alan.
A male and a female.
Okay, Cindy's going to do it with you, Al.
I have to have my reading glasses.
No comments here. Oh. We'll introduce her a second. This is Cindy Hogan.